We've been talking about left hand shape a lot in class, and so hopefully this will help with your practice at home. If you have any questions after watching this while they're fresh on your mind, just email them to me. Jot them down so that you can ask. I'd be happy to do that. Something might come to you that that you didn't think of in class. Upon watching this video or watching it over again. And the great thing about this is that you can watch it several times, and I would encourage you to watch it as many times as you need to, so that you catch everything, so that we can learn to hold the violin properly and get our left hand in the right shape, because it affects so many things we do. It affects everything that we do. All right. So the most important thing to start with is making sure that the violin is up in a proper position on our shoulder, right? A lot of people in class have been doing this or this. Even this is too much, okay? I see people playing like this a lot, right? And it looks, sort of correct. Of course, this is, this should never be the case. You want the violin up on your shoulder because it's going to give us the biggest sound, right? When the violin is up on our shoulder, gravity is working for us. Now, after you've gotten your violin in the proper place on your shoulder, now we can really begin to talk about left-hand shape. It's kind of impossible to even talk about left-hand shape or getting your left hand in the right place when your violin is over here. Because one of the things that's really important also when thinking about getting the violin up properly on your shoulder and being able to support it easily is the foot height of your shoulder rest. I have quite a lot of space here, when I'm playing the violin, all right, to hold the chin rest down and support the violin properly. And so when I'm playing violin and using a shoulder rest, as you can see on this Everest rest, I have the feet all the way out on the shoulder rest, right? Because I need that. Some people will need less. Some people might need more. One of the great things in class is that hopefully you're using the same shoulder rest each time. And I would say that to you guys. Please try to put the shoulder rest back so that if someone does have the shoulder rest adjusted for them, that we can do better about that. But it doesn't take very long, actually. I mean, even if you use a different shoulder rest every day, if you know that you need, some more space here, like I do, one of the first things I do if I pick up a new shoulder rest that I've never used before is I pretty much let the feet all the way out, right? And so what that does, it raises it up enough, and it's enough difference that it gets the violin up, higher for me, and it's much more comfortable. If I had the feet all the way in, and and I can show you, we're not talking about a lot of space. We're talking about maybe a little more than a centimeter there of space that it gives, as opposed to being screwed all the way in. But it's all the difference in the world when it comes to really holding the violin up the way that I need to. All right. So make sure that when you sit down to play, that your shoulder rest is adjusted properly. And one of the first things, let's start from going in to out here, is we have to talk about this elbow, right, coming out this way, all right? This is what's going to allow your hand to turn into the neck the way that it needs to. I see some students with their elbows back here, or, maybe even out here, way too far, all right? Getting this violin up, so we can get this elbow this way, all right? And as you can see, when I say turn your palm in, I'm talking about, when your elbow is the other way and your hand is turned out like this. Maybe I can get a better angle here to show you. It's this turning this way, all right, getting the fingers rounded, as opposed to this, okay? As you can see, I see a lot of this where the hand is out and then the fingers are having to reach over each other, okay, to get to the notes, instead of the hand being turned in and all the fingers being able to be rounded the same way, all right, in this nice uniform shape. So, violin, viola up in the proper position, all right? Elbow out, so we get this palm turned in. And now we can really start to talk about getting this hand in the right shape, all right? Certainly, as you learned in elementary school, we don't want this, okay? You cannot support the violin with your hand. And one of the biggest reasons is you'll never be able to play anything all that fast, okay? And you'll never be able to do vibrato properly if this hand is not free to move, all right? I'm sure talking about shifting and moving your hand up like this. You know, there's no way I could do that if I was supporting the hand. Now, I see some people support, you know, some people look like they have the shape down, you know, pretty well, but they're still holding the violin somewhat like this, right, in this part of their hand, all right? It almost looks like I'm holding it correctly, but really, if I wanted to, I could have my hand there supporting it like this, all right, just leaning on my hand. But I would never be able to really do what I need to on the fingerboard like that. I've got to think about this space here. Okay, try to get there. All right, space between my index finger, all right, not being on this part of my hand, all right. All of this being free. Now, a couple of other finer points. You know, thumb being too. Thumb is kind of negotiable, all right. Some people might have their thumb, you know, down a little lower than others. Some might have it slightly higher. Okay, everybody's hand is shaped a little different, all right? Some people's fingers are very short. Some people's palms are long. Some people's palms are short and their fingers are long. You know, everybody's a little different. Your thumb even might be back just a little bit, okay? Having your thumb way up here, cupping the violin like this, you know, that's a non-negotiable. You can't have this down in this part of your hand. Again, supporting the violin with your hand up like this. The violin is held up. When I say support, I'm talking about holding the violin up. How does it stay on my shoulder? Is it staying there because my hand is up like this? Okay, all right? Or because it's on this part of my hand, or I'm holding it with my fingers, or even worse yet, sometimes I see this thumb underneath the neck. I'm holding up the violin, you know, with my thumb, trying to, you know, it's impossible to play correctly like that. So, this wrist is not too far this way, and also not too far this way, all right? It's kind of straight right here. It might be a little curved like this. That's fine, all right? We don't want this. Even that is really too much, all right? Because I'm starting again, this part of my hand right here. I'm starting to hold the violin in that part of my hand when I do that, okay? So, straight wrist. I'm thinking about all of these, you know, spaces. Let me get it on this side. All right, where I have this space right here, this one right here. All right, if your hand is closed up like this, again, you can't move. All right, you can't do anything. All right. Here my hand is turned in. All right, I have my thumb, you know, not too high, not too low. It's very comfortable. I've got my arm out so that I can play. All right, and this way. And the whole point of this is so that you can play the right notes more easily, all right? It's much easier to just put your fingers down when your hand is in this proper position, in this proper shape. Let me turn around this way so you can see. So I see a lot of this. Okay, where people are playing and moving their hand for each individual note. You'll never be able to play smoothly or anything up-tempo like that, all right? This hand has to be in position, all right, so that I can reach all these notes. Okay, very, very easily. One other thing that I want to talk about that I saw several people doing was when you were playing, you know, wrist was straight, it all looked pretty good, but you were still twisting your hand like this to reach certain notes. We're going like this, we're on the D string. and you're going over like this, all right, to reach notes on the A string, and then even more so to reach notes on the E string. I think probably what's happening is you're trying to support the violin again on this part of your hand, all right? You're keeping this space here, all right? And you're keeping this wrist straight, but you're still kind of on the cusp there. See, if I wanted to, I could really, pull the violin up there. This hand has to be free to move, again, this way, okay, without twisting like this, all right? I want to be able to put all my fingers down. As I play, all right, so that it's easy, all right, and so that I know pretty much where my fingers are going to fall when I put them down, and I'm not going back and forth. This, I'm learning to play the violin 4 different ways with 4 different hand shapes. I want one hand shape, all right, for all 4 strings, okay? So, we've got to get rid of the twisting back and forth for strings like this, all right? We've got to get rid of certainly this, the pancake wrist, and also where your palm is back like this, where I see people reaching for notes like this, okay? Turned in, up, straight, fingers rounded, not twisting around, okay? I hope that. And one other note, as far as the playing test in class, or anything we're doing in class where you're being graded, use the recording that's at your disposal. There is a recording CD in the back of the Learning Together book. If you don't have that recording, let me know, but please look in the back of your book. Make sure you're using the CD, because along with this, playing hand shape, specifically the May song that we've been talking about here lately, we've got to have the right notes. I mean, the whole point of this hand shape is to be able to reach the right notes easily, but for some, it wasn't just a matter of hand shape, it was just a matter of knowing how the song goes. So make sure you listen to the recording. That's a very important part of your practice. Play along to the CD. There's lots of technology out there to be able to slow the song down so you can play along to it slower. I've talked about some of those in class, and that would certainly help you a lot. Okay. I hope that helps. Again, if some question has come up that maybe you didn't realize before, or you just thought of it for the first time, email it to me right now. Don't wait for class, or you could jot it down and ask in class, and that's fine. All right? Let me know what you think. Hope that helps, and I will see you guys soon.